Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a guide for this year's Valentine's event, Beyond the Chocolate River. Quick refresher on Valentine-style events. You can give servants gift chocolates, and they'll give you craft essences in return. So Ash can fill your heart with cheer, and you can fill her hat with the white chocolate. What are you gonna give her, clam chowder on Valentine's? Don't be uncivilized. Aside from coming with voice scenes and nice bits of flavor text, these Valentine CEs are worth a boatload of craft essence experience, so feeding them to your Black Grails, Golden Sumos, and other high-power CEs is one of the big appeals. If you've done one of these before, you should liquidate your old Valentine CEs since you can't receive another copy of one you already own. That said, Mash's CEs are unique to their specific year, and you don't get those back, so make sure you lock and bury those in your second archive. To actually get your gift chocolates, you have to climb the event's point ladder. Rest assured you'll get enough for every servant in the game, though you can only redeem them for servants you already own. For any surplus, you can trade them in for 100k QP a pop. To enhance your point income, you should grab a reward for your studies from the event shop and run as many separate copies as you can. It has a combo of starting charge, arts, and anti-evil damage, but the potential uses of this package are undercut by a mixed stat line. So in practice you won't be using this if you have access to Ocean Flyer. 4 of these are in the shop, and the last one is in the point ladder. You know what else is there? The event command codes. Mirage on the Sea of Sand is a good pickup, and I'd recommend grabbing it for its NP damage and crit damage combo. Santa Maria Volante gives 2 stars and purges a crit chance buff on your enemy. Lastly, Thunder-wielding Pegasus has increased star generation and gives you 1 star. Not very good, that one. The event structure is very straightforward outside of the ladder. Just do the highest difficulty free quest until you unlock the next main quest, pick up the shop CE whenever you can, and repeat until you're done. This road will lead you to the 90++ free quest, which is a 1-3-2 caster arrangement. Notable foes here include a 100k Jiangxi Torturer in Wave 1, a 250k Cerberus in Wave 2, and Summer Wu in Wave 3. Wu is human attribute, and the other notable enemies are Earth, which can make your team building challenging if you plan to lean on an anti-buff to carry you to victory. There are some human attribute trash mobs in Wave 2, but they're not relevant. Wu is evil aligned so you can run servants like Kyokote Bakken or Santa Nemo as a team centerpiece. I opted for Nemo, though it was a 5-slot with Black Grail. Also double Castoria single Oberon, which is on the pricey side, but it's a lazy way of getting it done. If you want to economize, you can try to run Ride Ryoma in place of your second Castoria and have him deal with Wave 1. Your damage check will be much tighter, fair warning. You can also try the anti-human route, which calls for a buster team using someone like Queen Morgan or another servant that can handle Wave 2 without bonus damage. If none of this works, the 90+ node has a 2-2-1 saber arrangement with much more manageable health values. Now let's talk about the challenge quest. This pits you against the 3-bar Andromeda with Europa, Estrella, and Chiron as backup. Despite the number of enemies, only 2 will be on the field at a time: Andromeda and 1 other servant. At the start, Andromeda gives herself a Red Guts and NP Seal, the former of which regenerates every time you try to break her bar. These effects won't disappear until you kill every other enemy, so you're in for a long fight. At this point, you can opt for the slow way or the really slow way. Supposedly, the latter is the way this fight was intended to be done. Because the 3 other servants are supposed to be teachers for Andromeda, they apparently loiter for a few turns, then give both teams buffs and leave. Once all 3 teachers are done, then you and Andromeda can slug it out to decide a winner. The upside of this approach is that you can just speed kill Chiron so he doesn't use his Noble Phantasm and run the immortal team for everyone else. None of the other servants can really threaten you. But of course, this is an insanely slow way of doing an already glacial fight. What I opted to do is just Unga Bunga every helper the second they show up. Now let's go over the consequences of doing just that. On entry, Europa gives everyone defense, including your team. When she's defeated, she gives Andromeda more defense and health regeneration. These on-death effects are box buffs and can't be purged. Estrella comes in next, giving herself attack and crit chance and everyone else attack. When she's defeated, she passes a permanent version of her attack and crit buff to Andromeda. Chiron gives everyone aside from himself crit damage. He also gets a nasty combo of attack, defense, crit damage, and P regeneration, and a 2-stack guts. When he bites it, he passes on crit damage and P regen and damage reduction to Andromeda. Documentation on this fight's specific mechanics is a pain in the ass to find, and it didn't occur to me to long press her buff list at the time, but I'm pretty sure the damage reduction is hit-based. When she's the last enemy on the field, Andromeda will remove her Red Guts and NP Seal, turn into her 3rd Ascension, gain another attack buff, and fully heal herself. It's slow going, but once you get your second wind, she can't do a whole lot to threaten you through Castoria's anti-enforcement defense. Though if your stacks run out, she can ruin your support casters. When you break her first bar, she gets what I'm pretty sure is a hit-based invulnerability effect and invuln pierce. Both of these are purgeable if you want to deal with it that way. On second break, she gets a single stack guts that heals her for half her health. Now I've got to apologize for some sloppy work here, but both times I broke Andromeda's bars, she was already at full charge, so I'm not 100% on whether she gains charge on break, but I'm pretty sure that's what she does on the second one. For my part, I opted to use Draco as my main attacker. She's weak against Estrella, but her defense ignore and class advantage against the other 3 servants makes her quite effective in both halves of this fight. So if you're having trouble, try borrowing one off your friends list. Some notable alternatives include Summer Castoria, who has no active anti-buffs versus Andromeda, but her anti-divine damage can wreck the backup dancers. Then her raw output should be good enough to close out the fight. Then there's Bazette, who has an event damage bonus. The class arrangement isn't particularly great for an alter ego, only giving her good matchups against Europa and Andromeda, but Bazette can quickly wear down any stack-based protection with her counterattacks. If you want to try this out, I'd lead with someone else to get rid of the teachers, and then have Bazette throw down with Andromeda in the back half. Good luck, lads. Like if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more, and come on to twitch.tv/Finotaisen where I stream every weekend, 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you're watching this after the event comes out, I'll be rolling for Andromeda on the first Sunday after that happens, so drop by if you want to catch that live. See you there.